So apparently rappers are bad with money. In other news, grass is green. But you guys know me. I like to teach you guys how to live a life of freedom, fun, and adventure. So let's see what lessons we can learn from this, take away from this, and see how we can apply the lessons here into our own lives so we can emancipate ourselves from this system and live lives more free. So let's go.
Imagine one of the biggest rap stars on the planet, Offset from the Migos, allegedly texting an OnlyFans model, Selena Powell, begging for a $15,000 loan to fuel a gambling habit.
Hello, Daddy. Are you got paper? I said, for what? He said, because I need money. Then I said, I only have Zelle. He said, okay, so Zelle me. I said, my limit is like so low. He said, it's okay, just Zelle me.
He was panicking. He was asking random people for cash apps. He was just broke. I don't know what happened. Nobody was answering his phone call. He popped, trying to run up, chasing. Must got a gambling addiction. He just popped. He called it for cash apps in front of me.
This is the same.
Yeah, if he's doing that, that means he was probably playing with house money and he ended up losing and now he owes some money. This happens all the time, and I like to tell you guys all the time, gambling is one of the worst addictions you could have because it destroys so much around you. I put gambling addiction up there with like alcohol and drugs because the amount of people whose lives have been ruined due to gambling is crazy. There's an app called Kalshi. You can gamble on the weather. Like if they say it's gonna be sunny skies and 70 degrees, you can bet that it's not. And if you bet that and you can win money. How far have we gone as a society that people are gambling on the weather? We are in the end days, my brothers. This is terrible. And the fact that this guy who is a multimillionaire, at least we think they're a multimillionaire, you never really know with their contracts, he's out there asking OnlyFans models for money. Like, how low can you go?
Same man we see on Instagram dripping in $500,000 worth of jewelry. He poses next to cars that cost more than the average American mortgage. The contrast is jarring. How can a man wearing $500,000 on his neck be scrambling for mere thousands in cash?
I see some random post 4 Birkins, 2 watches, and a ring. I said, Offset gave his girlfriend all that. I said, huh? You just cashed out on it. You can't give me back my money. Why do you keep throwing it out? And then, not only that, you're asking me for more money. Yeah. Like, that's what was like really disrespectful. Like, you're asking me for more.
Yeah.
She's like pimping me. Like, I felt like he's my pimp. Like, I paid you for sex type like,
The viral scandal exposed.
Is she recording him in bed with her? See, this is why you can't trust these OnlyFans models. I mean, it's hard to trust women in general, but you trusting an OnlyFans model, you never fall asleep at her house, brother. What is wrong with you? Fellas, I'm going to give you a little trick here. If you are with a woman and you fall asleep in her house, there's a high likelihood she has either a picture or a video of you sleeping. I promise you. So many chicks do it. So I don't know what is wrong with y'all, but women do this nonsense. And he's over here asking her for money, and she's like, what? I feel like I'm being pimped. Like, oh, you paid me for sex? Yes. You're an OnlyFans chick, which leads me to the next thing, teaching you fellas how to live a life of freedom. Don't watch adult content, period. If you do, watch it for free. No, don't watch it. Don't watch it, and sure as hell don't spend your money on it because there's nothing beneficial there for you. You can just scroll on TikTok and get your fix. Maybe not TikTok. You can scroll on Amazon and get your fix of women. But the fact that he's paying these women and now he's asking these women for money, which is crazy to me. You know what? Actually, he done quartered the game. You sleeping with OnlyFans models and they're paying you? That's crazy work. But this is a man who's been taken by lust, by greed, and with gambling. These 3 things can destroy a man. And he's clearly being destroyed, and he's probably not the only one. We're going to see what else they get into now. But fellas, do not be spending your money on OnlyFans models. And sure as hell, don't be asking them for money. This is just embarrassing.
Exposed a hidden truth. The rap star lifestyle is a financial mirage. In the finance world, we call this being asset-heavy, cash-poor. It means your net worth is tied up in illiquid things you can't eat. Chains, watches, cars. You look wealthy on a red carpet, but you cannot pay the electric bill. In hip-hop, this isn't an exception, it is the rule. Offset's desperation is just a symptom of a much larger disease. We are watching a class of people who are swimming in debt, disguised as wealth. And when the music stops, the illusion crashes.
Here's the thing about being asset rich but cash poor. You shouldn't be cash poor, but being asset rich is not a problem. The thing is, you should have assets that you could easily liquidate. That way you can get the cash if need be. I prefer stocks. I recommend, let me not say I recommend because I don't give financial advice. You bums better not sue me because I'm telling you, don't do exactly what I do. But I'm going to tell you what I do. I believe in investing in the stock market. I just started. I am no stock guru. All I buy is Vanguard, VTI and VOO, and I'm watching it grow over time. I'm actually going to do a whole video about that because I feel like it's one of the few assets that you can liquidate instantly to get your money if need be, and it appreciates over time. It builds wealth, and it's something that you can have, and you can, it's like a savings account that builds more money, and usually it beats inflation. Okay, it's not like having a house. A house, yeah, it appreciates over time, but there's only like a couple ways to get money from it. You could borrow against it like a home equity line of credit or a HELOC, or you could sell the house. But then at that point, that's a long and drawn out process. And if you do a HELOC, or if you like take out a second mortgage on your home, it's just more money out of your pocket. You can also, if you have stocks, I should say, if you could also borrow against your stocks. So that is a thing too, if you really need the money. But these rappers are, they have like chains, gold chains, diamond chains. Now, jewelry, gold specifically, is an investment. But once you start drilling holes in it, you're putting diamonds in it, like, you're not going to get your money's worth for it. However, it is still an asset. They could sell these chains. They could sell all these things. Floyd Mayweather's going through it right now. He was selling things at pawn shops. This is Floyd Money Mayweather selling things at pawn shops. This is absolutely ridiculous. He's made close to $1 billion from boxing, and he had all these investments and this, that, whatever, and now he's broke. I saw that he was doing meet and greets. Meet and greets? That means that you were like regular people broke. You know how there's like rich broke? Floyd got to the point where he was like regular people broke, and that's not a place where you want to be when your name is Money Mayweather.
What's the percentage of how many rappers are wearing real shit to fake shit?
I can guarantee you, if not 95% or 100% of all the celebrities or rappers, I'll put it that way.
100%.
But to understand how a superstar ends up begging for cash, you can't just look at their spending. You have to look at their income. And that requires us to dissect the machine itself. Welcome to the rap industrial complex. From the outside, it looks like a business. From the inside, it functions like a pyramid scheme where the artist is at the very bottom. To understand why your favorite rapper is broke, you have to follow the dollar. Let's assume that a stream is worth $1. That dollar doesn't go to the rapper. It goes to the top of the pyramid, the major label, like Universal or Sony. They front the risk, so they take the lion's share off the top, usually 80%. That leaves 20 cents, but the rapper doesn't even get that.
You made $1, but you spent $2 to make that dollar. So you owe somebody $1. So you might make the decision, I want to fly first class. Hey, I want to shoot a $50,000 video instead of $25,000 video, or a $200,000 video instead of a $50,000 video. These are all choices that are made constantly. And it's you got to look at the business model and see what works.
In hip-hop, artists are often signed to vanity labels run by other rappers. This creates a cascading contract. Look at the Young Money dynasty. Drake was signed to Lil Wayne, Young Money. Lil Wayne was signed to Birdman, Cash Money. Birdman was signed to Universal. By the time the dollar filters down through 3 different bosses, the artist is left with pennies.
That's actually crazy, because that is a pyramid scheme. They said it's like a pyramid scheme. No, it's 100% a pyramid scheme. So you're going to sign up, right? And then you're going to get 5 more people to sign up. And then they're going to get 5 more people to sign up. It's a scheme. It's a scam. And the reason that these rappers do this is because they're greedy. At the end of the day, they're greedy. You want to sign that label so you can get the $1 million advance. Now, you would think that they're going to reinvest that $1 million into their business. Nah. They're going to buy chains. They're going to buy watches. They're going to fly first class like that dude was saying before. I know his name. It just leaves my mind right now. So these dudes are doing all this nonsense when in reality, they could take that money and reinvest it into themselves, or they could just not sign. You don't have to sign to these labels. And this isn't going to be a video about music industry. This is just period. When you guys sell your art to other people, not sell it, but you give people control over your art, typically it's because you want a lot of money right now. When in reality, you could just sell your own stuff. But people don't want to do that because they want the money right now. They want big lump sums of money. And really, they want to show the world that they have money. You are not going to make as much money on your own as Universal or any of these other labels can give you. However, when they have the money and you see these rappers flaunting all this stuff, it's borrowed money. These guys are on borrowed money and they're on borrowed time because nobody's hot forever. Nobody's hot forever. All these rappers that you see are still at the top. Drake is like a a very rare exception, but most of them like dive into other things. Like Jay-Z has Rockefeller Records, who I don't know if it's signed to someone else as well. I don't know if he's underneath anybody else. But the fact of the matter is, people are greedy and they're going after this money. And at the end of the day, you end up broke and asking OnlyFans models to cash app you some money, $2, so you can gab on a slot machine. The odds are bad.
And here's the trap that seals their fate: the recoupable advance. When you see a rapper holding a giant check for $1 million, the industry wants you to think it's a salary. It isn't. It is a high-interest loan. The label is leasing the artist the money to record the album, and the artist doesn't see a single dime of royalties until that loan is paid back in full. And because streaming pays so little, labels invented a new shackle, the 360 deal. Labels realized they were losing money on music, so they inserted clauses to take a cut of the only things that actually pay: touring and merchandise.
Everybody gets paid, but the artist. And the artist is cool with that because that's the commercial for them to go make their money selling their merch, which is their t-shirts, and make their money from their show. Now, you can't, I own your ass on the road and your clothes, and also every time you make money from endorsements. So you actually telling someone to give up their whole entire behind.
Historically, the tour was the artist's safe haven to make money. Now, the label takes 30% of the ticket sales and the merchandise too. The trap has closed. The artist has nowhere to hide the revenue. So if the contracts are mathematically designed to keep them poor, why do they look so rich on Instagram?
The contracts aren't designed to keep them poor. And this is where we have our lesson today about emancipation. The contracts are not there to keep you poor. The thing is, they give you a lot of money. And there's a saying out there that goes, and I don't even know if I can say this on the internet, but I'm going to say it. If you give somebody enough rope, they'll hang themselves. And that's what these rappers are doing. Just because they hand you $1 million, that doesn't mean you have to spend $1 million. I would even argue you shouldn't even take the $1 million. And let's say you do. Try to use as little of that money as possible and then use the rest to pay them back. If they give you $1 million and it only costed you, let's say, $600,000 to do the album, and you have $400,000 left, all right, pay yourself like, let's say, $150,000, and then use the rest of that money to start paying them back. This is where the financial knowledge comes in. This is where the financial literacy comes in. And this is where I think you guys need to understand. Now this is a lesson about debt. You don't need to use up as much debt as possible. Let's say you get approved for $600,000 to buy a house. You don't have to go look for a $600,000 house. It's not advantageous for you to do that. Just because you get approved for $1 million, that doesn't mean you need to go buy $1 million home. You would be perfectly fine in a $500,000 home, especially if you don't have any children. But the problem is when people see a whole load of money, they're gonna use it all. That's why these labels give it to them. I know I said that these contracts are not designed to keep them poor, but the behavior is they give you all this money because they understand psychology and behavior. I'm gonna give you $1 million because I know you're gonna use $1 million.
Because looking rich isn't a choice. It's a job requirement.
How much?
100.
Grand? Wow. Wow. I don't know which one. How much is this drip?
$220,000. It's just Patron by itself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's 100 by itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. At the ring.
In corporate America, you dress for the job you want. In rap, you dress for the deal you need. Image is the resume. If you don't look rich, the executives assume you aren't poppin', and the deal offers dry up. Take the case of Bow Wow. We all remember the hashtag Bow Wow Challenge. He posted a photo of a private jet to Instagram, implying he was flying solo. But a fan spotted him on a commercial flight, sitting in economy, at the exact same time.
I remember that. It was a whole scandal. And at least he was smart about it. I'll give him this. He was smart about it, semi-smart. He was trying to like save his money, but he shouldn't have posted the private jet in the first place. The whole scam was crazy. And that dude with all the jewelry on his neck, he said like 200,000, it was 50,000. He had like, I think it was like 400,000 worth of jewelry on his neck. I don't remember the exact number, even though I just saw it. So just stall me out. I don't know what is wrong with it. And this is unfortunate, but I got to get to the black culture. This is not a thing in country music. This is not a thing in pop. This is not a thing in any other genre of music except hip hop. Why? Because hip hop is sold to black people and black people love to stunt. And if you're black and you're watching this and you feel offended, I don't give a damn. You guys we all need to do better, goddammit. But the fact that he feels like he needs to wear all that and the fact that the labels are pushing all that, these labels know that we don't actually care about none of that. Kendrick Lamar is a mega star. We don't watch, him for his money. We care about the music. But these labels are convincing these rappers that this is what it means to be popping. Why? So they can spend more money. These systems are in place to keep you broke. Now, the contracts aren't. I keep saying that the contracts that they sign aren't meant to keep them broke. Their behaviors keep them broke. And a lot of you guys have poor money behaviors. A lot of people do not have financial issues. They have spending issues. And I was one of those people before. I'm not trying to sit here and pretend like I've always been great with money. I was terrible, horrible, awful, drowning in debt like everybody else. I figured out a system that works for me, and I'm working my way out of everything that I did negative and working my way to zero. That way I can thrive. That's why I started investing in all these other things. And you guys should do the same if you want to live a life of freedom. Change your behaviors.
He was mocked for faking it. But in a candid interview later, he admitted the truth. Everything is for the show. He wasn't just being vain, he was participating in the industry-wide Ponzi scheme of image.
Basically, I was traveling to New York and I was on a commercial flight. So I saw a picture that I liked. It was my mood picture. So I posted, I put travel day. So someone's on the plane, they take a picture of me and says, well, that's kind of odd. How is he flying private when he's right here in front of me? So he sent the picture in, and then once he sent the picture of me on the plane, all hell just broke loose. And bro, I'm normal and I make mistakes and I can own up to it.
Right.
And you know what I mean, Jess, we've been on since then.
Yeah.
There we go. I had no reason to do it, but I did it. And I got caught flexing.
Right.
Fake flex.
Right.
Let's break down the inventory.
I'll give him credit for admitting it. I'll give him credit for admitting it. Well, maybe I don't give him credit because it was so obvious. If you were to try to lie about it, you just look goofy. You would just look absolutely goofy. But he at least admitted like, yo, I messed up. He admitted like, yeah, that was a bad look. So kudos to him for at least admitting it, but he really didn't have a choice. This is not one of those things you could lie your way out of. Maybe he could have just ignored it, but he faced it. I'll give him credit for at least facing it and not just trying to hide. But that's the whole thing. Everybody wants to look rich. And I want you guys to emancipate yourself from that. I think that will be the lesson for today. Emancipate yourself from this idea of looking rich, because looking rich and then not actually being rich is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It does nothing for you. All you end up doing is spending money that you don't have on things you don't need to impress people who really don't give a damn about you. So at the end of the day, you guys need to free yourself from this concept of, I need to look rich.
Inventory of a standard rap video. Almost none of it is owned. The cars, leased. The label often writes them off as a business expense. It's a tax write-off for them, but a liability for the artist. The jewelry, consignment. High-end jewelers loan pieces to rappers in exchange for a shout-out. It's a barter system. The mansion, Airbnb, rented by the day for the shoot. Most of what you see is a liability, not an asset. They are using the loan from the label to rent the image, to get the next loan. They are running a business with 90% overhead. And it works until the hits stop coming. But you might say, okay, Bow Wow was faking it. But what about the guys who actually had hits, the ones who printed real money? Well, the system has a trap for them too. In the late 2000s, he was undeniable. He was on every hook.
I was the music Jesus, man. You want to get saved, come to the church, T-Pain, and I'll slam you a hook on there, and I'll make sure you're good for at least 3 more years. You'll be fine.
He revolutionized the sound of the genre. He had $40 million in the bank. And then he hit zero. He famously admitted in an interview that he had to borrow money just to buy his kids Burger King.
When you say you was broke, was you at like $0 broke?
I had to borrow money to get my kids Burger King.
That's crazy to say. I did not know that about T-Pain. $40 million in the bank to zero. And part of me wants to feel bad for him, but I don't. I can't feel bad for somebody who blows $40 million when I see people who are struggling to pay for their kids to have like dinner at home, and they have a regular job where they make maybe $50,000, $60,000 a year, and they may have a kid at home. Maybe they have to work 2 jobs, work on the weekends, don't have any free time, and they're still making it happen. And you had to borrow money to buy your kids Burger King when you had $40 million. T-Pain was also on record for buying like multi-million-dollar cars. He had a Bugatti. He had all these other things because he had to look rich. There is no benefit in looking rich. If you're not actually rich, looking rich is dang near mental illness, because all you're doing is putting yourself in a deeper and deeper hole. Pause. That was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
After having, what the most you ever had in the bank at one time?
40 million. It was a lot of bad investment. A lot of things.
What did you invest in that didn't work for $40 million? What were you investing in?
Real estate.
Real estate?
Yeah.
You buy retail?
No, but I was letting my manager do it. He was way more optimistic than I was.
So what do you mean optimistic?
Like he would just buy complete dumps and think that we can just paint and then we're shipping.
He didn't know what he was doing.
Never.
Okay. All right. $40 million in real estate. Even if you made bad investments in real estate, you could always just sell the real estate. I don't think it was real estate, especially since I know that this guy was buying cars and chains and other things. If you had $40 million worth of assets, even if they were trash, garbage dumps, the land that they sit on is still worth money. So you probably could have recuperated something, unless you were just that deep in the red. But I don't believe it was just bad investments. He needs to be honest. He needs to be like Bow Wow and just tell the truth. You blew it. You blew your money. The hits stopped coming in at a certain time. And like I said earlier in the video, you're not going to be on top forever. Everybody has their moment to shine, and then that moment passes. So while you're there, you better really not live it up, godly. You better run it up. Make good investments, commercial real estate. I'm going to do a video about certain things that people can invest in if they want to live a more free life. But just consider maybe not giving a damn about what people think. Just consider it.
Never sold anything that we bought.
Even now, like none of those areas y'all bought in became
We had to let
gentrified.
them go.
T-Pain didn't go broke because he stopped selling records. He went broke because of management bloat. He fell into the trap of confusing gross income with net income. When a superstar makes $1 million, they don't keep $1 million. The sharks start eating immediately. The manager takes 20%. The agent takes 10%. The lawyer takes 5%. The business manager takes 5%. Uncle Sam takes 40%. You were left with 20%. But T-Pain was spending like he kept the whole dollar.
Payne had got to a certain level of his career where he was competing with me too, and vice versa. So we would have real conversations. I'd be like, yeah, Payne, I don't think you need to buy that car. But I noticed that every time I bought a car, Payne would come and try to outdo it. Then he pulled up on me in a Bugatti. I said, no.
See, I mentioned that earlier. I knew he had a Bugatti, and he was competing with somebody financially that he didn't have to. Now, Akon is like, I believe, a known scammer. He was trying to build this super futuristic Wakanda city somewhere in Senegal where he's from, and it all ended up being garbage. But at the end of the day, he said it. He was just trying to compete. He was trying to prove to people that he had it like that. And he did have it like that at a certain point, and then he lost it. And then he said that he couldn't sell any of the properties. I said before that it's almost impossible to not make money off of that, because usually the land is worth something, but he said he had to let it go. That means his credit took a dive. And I'm not too big on credit anyway, but if you are, having your credit take a nosedive like that is terrible. It's very detrimental for you. So I don't feel bad for him. I wanted to say I feel bad for him, but nah, homie, you put yourself in that situation. And I feel like we could all learn from this. The lesson of today is stop trying to look rich. Stop it. I'm not saying you can't have nice things. I feel like everybody should have nice things from time to time. I'm not so deep into this idea of like minimalism and essentialism that I don't believe in nice things. I 1000% believe in nice things, but you have to earn it and buy it when you know it won't hurt you. My thing is, if you can't afford 4 of them, you can't afford 1 of them. And I got that from another lawyer here on YouTube, and I live by that. If I can't go and buy 4 of the things that I want right now without it hurting my bank account, then I can't afford 1 of it. I'm going to wait until I know that it doesn't hurt me at all, and then I buy it. And don't have a bunch of stuff either. Have nice things, but you don't need a bunch of things. Materialism and consumerism is going to be the death of a lot of people. So that was the lesson for today. I'm not going to watch the whole video. I'm going to put the link to it down below if you guys want to go check it out. So like, share, comment, subscribe. Be easy.